Sup nerds, I'm Wes. It's currently January 25th of 2018, and this is my top 10 games right now. We did film a top 10 back in 2016. We skipped 2017. So you're welcome to go check that one out if you really want to. The video quality is pretty bad. The audio is terrible. We're just like sitting in front of a blank wall. But, I mean, you can kind of see where my list has grown, where it's changed, what stayed the same. If anything has, who knows. But anyway, so we'll get to that. Since it is my video, we're all drinking my scotch, so lunch.
Cheers.
Great show.
Because I don't want to have all my top 10 games on the table, because that would be kind of spoilery for you guys and for them, we just kind of decorated the table with some stuff that really kind of defines and describes who I am. So got a picture of my kid, because he's pretty awesome. I got my French press, because coffee is life. Scotch, which we talked about, but we'll talk about it some more. I got like my little Boba Fett bobblehead, and my X-Wing ship. A Sting knockoff, the One Ring, if you can see that. Lego Hobbit Hole, Lego and Lord of the Rings, double whammy. Porg, I don't really like how much they were used in The Last Jedi. I like how they use them, but I feel like they're like, oh, it was good, and we're gonna keep throwing it in your face. But they're still cute. And then my pipe, which is kind of Lord of the Rings-y.
Last Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie.
And Nerf guns, because they're awesome.
All right, come on, man. What's your number 10? I want to know.
All right, so
Wait, so are we gonna guess? Okay, let's do real quick predictions.
All right.
Imperial Assault's gonna be on it.
Mm-hmm.
X-Wing's gonna be on it.
Yep.
Rebellion's gonna be on it. He hasn't even played Rebellion yet.
No, Rebellion won't be in there.
No, Rebellion won't be in there.
Pandemic's gonna be in there.
Pandemic's gonna be in there. I don't
Wrong
know.
on all fronts.
Oh, no,
Alright,
there's no way
we'll
wrong
see.
on all
We'll see.
fronts.
Let's see.
No.
All right, start with 10.
All right. So number 10 was on my list last time, but it's bumped way back. Battlelore.
Ooh.
This is it. It's a game that Tom owns. It's one of the few games that's on here that I don't actually have. But it's definitely, like, it's 1v1. There's great miniatures. It's in Terranoth, which makes it great. The Terranoth universe has been expanding more and more. And it's a great universe. I really like just the 1v1 battle aspect of it. You're moving your minis, and there's combat. And what I said in the last video, too, of, you know, there's other games that do it great, like Axis and Allies and Memoir 44, all these things. But having the fantasy universe just makes it that much better for me. So number 9 is like my go-to party game for this list. And it's just every time I've played it has been fantastic. I really like playing...
Is it Cthulhu?
Oh,
Don't
which
mess
one?
with
Party
Cthulhu?
game. It's a party game.
Resistance is a party game.
Resistance did not make it to my list this year.
Werewolf?
Don't mess with Cthulhu.
Werewolf.
Don't mess with Cthulhu's great. Yeah.
It's good.
It's
It's
not
good.
that
Party game.
Avalon? No,
It's
that's
the same
so-
thing.
I know.
Deception, murdering
Ah, yeah,
Dang
that's
it.
great.
I love playing as the guy who's like explaining the story and like giving clues and stuff like that.
The CSI,
Yeah.
the investigator.
Like I love playing that, but like being in the game is great too. It's a game that like it's been a blast every time it hits the table. There's an expansion coming out soon that you guys should totally get if you didn't back it on Kickstarter. I love it. It's my favorite party game. A lot of people can play. People can jump in, jump out. It's not too long, but it's also not over in like 5 minutes. So
That's what she said.
It's a great game. If you're looking for a party game, you should definitely pick it up. Number 8 is one that replaced a game that was in my list last year. It did bump down a couple spots, but Champions of Midgard. When you go watch Tom's video, you'll know I already talked about it, but you can listen to him talk about it too.
It's way better to hear it from me. Let's just be honest.
It's such a fun worker placement game, and I think that people who like really heavy worker placement games may have some complaints about it because there is dice rolling, and there's not a lot of times luck in worker placement games other than like someone goes before you and takes the spot you want to do.
Euphoria has dice rolling for where you can put your workers, but you're in
there's
general you're
there's
right.
a bumping mechanic.
There's a bump too, and you
Yeah.
could lose them and stuff. Right. Now in my top 10, I had said that happened. Spoilers, I guess that happened for me too, where it bumped out Lords of Waterdeep. But I had said that I still think base Lords of Waterdeep to base Champions was better, but Lords of Waterdeep with the expansions is not as good as Champions with the expansions. Do you agree?
No.
Ooh.
I think that base to base, I would still pick Champions. I think that Lords of Waterdeep with
Oh.
Skullport
What?
beats out Champions base.
Well, yeah.
Just like so, honestly, I get bored playing vanilla Waterdeep now.
I do.
Like it drags on for me. It's a little bit grindy for points.
Neither of those games do I ever think I would play just base.
I don't either, but I think And maybe it's just because I've played Champions less. Because Lords of Waterdeep it's one of the first games I ever had. That I just think that Champions right now is just fresher for me. That wasn't my
Can you do
number
the next
8.
Uh-oh.
Oh, was it not?
No, it was.
Okay.
So number 7 is another worker placement game, a little bit heavier. Do you guys want to take a guess at this one? Take a crack at it?
Heavier?
A heavier worker placement game?
Charterstone?
Not Lords of Waterdeep, obviously.
It's Lords of
Is it
Waterdeep.
Euphoria?
No, it's not
No,
Euphoria.
No, he hasn't played that.
Oh, Anachrony!
Anachrony, you got it. Anachrony. It's a game that I haven't played. I've played it like 3 or 4 times.
I
but
really think you've played it once.
No, I've played it more than once. However, like going through the rule book, this game like.
But going through the rule book, you can't count that as playing.
I'm not. I'm just saying that there are so many things about it I love. I'm very passionate about time travel. If I could have time travel on the table.
Like Looper? It's a great movie.
No, Looper's the worst. But it's another video. But just the time travel aspect, the fact that it's just such a dense worker placement game. There's so much thinking, so much like you can go out here, you could build up your own thing, and then once the apocalypse happens, or the second apocalypse, and things are destroying, and you could be like, I'm gonna go here and destroy it for everyone. It's so good. I don't have the minis yet. So funny story, about a week after filming this video, the expansion for the minis came out into retail at a very affordable price. So if you have Anachrony, you should definitely pick these up. Anyway, back to our video. Number 6 is a newer game into the arena, and you probably haven't played it yet. Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. It's definitely my favorite 4X game. If you haven't seen a review on it, you should definitely check it out by Gambling Games and Scott Alms. It's great. It's in the same universe as a lot of their other games, where it's still in that like medieval fantasy, which is one of the best themes that you could just put on a game. If you're designing a game, put it in the fantasy world, because I'll like it more because of that.
And there aren't enough games in the universe anyways.
It's better than zombies.
It's true.
What about medieval zombies?
It's a great 4X game. I like how quick it plays, and like quick is relative again. It's like could be 3, could be 4 hours, but it's not 10 hours like some other games.
Could be an hour and a half if everybody's really knowing what they're doing. It's just like 3
or
people.
if one character just crushes.
Yeah.
You know? It's great. I love the minis and the constructs and just the art of the game and how seamless it is and how the following mechanic keeps everyone so engaged the whole time. I do like the card combat. They don't like that as much, but I think that the fact that you can have, like, I will win this battle no matter what, is something that appeals to me, because you can plan out and say, I am going to win this battle. I know they can't beat me. So if you're looking for a 4X game, I definitely recommend you check out Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea once it's available in retail. Number 5 was on my list last time we did this. I think it's dropped down a couple spots.
Pandemic?
Strip poker.
Pandemic.
Yes! It's number 5?
Number 5.
Did you separate Pandemic and Pandemic Legacy? 'Cause that's dumb.
So I didn't. And actually, it's not Pandemic. It's Pandemic Iberia.
Ooh.
Now, I do want to go ahead and say that this does encompass all the pandemics. Like, I kind of just clump those into one, except for Pandemic Cthulhu. That one can go away.
You didn't like Cthulhu?
I did not like Pandemic Cthulhu. It wasn't awful, but it's nowhere near my top 10.
It wasn't that different, really. That's why I'm like...
The Legacies, I loved. We got really into the theme. We're playing with our friend Josh. We're going through Season 2 right now. They are amazing. I definitely think that everyone should play through them. But the fact that, like, once you're done, you're done. Like, we'll never play Pandemic Season 1 again.
Oh.
So, like, they're
Even though there's a
fantastic.
copy right over there that's sealed, you don't want to play that?
It wouldn't be the same. I'll go ahead and say that. Like, I'd play it with you if you wanted to, but the twists in it, the things that uncover... The storytelling. And I know you didn't get into the storytelling when you were playing, but...
Well, I only got halfway through the whole game anyway, so...
It's good. I definitely like them, but I'm going to say the regular ones just going to win out on the list because of how replayable they are. I said it last time, it's my wife's favorite game, so obviously it's going to make it to my top 10 because she's not a gamer, so any game that she's going to play, I'm going to like. Because
it's also my sister's favorite game.
What? That's crazy how that works.
Almost like they're the same person.
Pandemic Iberia wins out of all, though. One, the fact that it's, like, limited, like, to me, I'm like, oh, it makes it a little bit better. It's a limited edition. Like, that's super cool. It's definitely, it's harder in my opinion because you can't like fly anywhere. You can go coast to coast, but the inside places are hard to get. But you can build trains, which where you build the trains really matters because we've actually run out of train tracks before in a game. So that was really rough when we're like, we can't build a train here anymore. So choose wisely. So Pandemic Iberia, number 5. But it's really a placeholder for pandemics. Number 4 is a new addition to the list. It's come out. You probably have this one now. You should definitely have it. Another Gambling Games, Tiny Epic Quest. Yes.
Above Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea.
Above Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea.
2 spaces above Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea.
A pandemic above Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. Because the Tiny Epics play in that small footprint of time, I've always loved Tiny Epics. I backed Tiny Epic Kingdoms like day 1. I love Mike and Nate and Scott. They're just great guys. This one's for you.
Hey, I want to be a part of that.
My homies, I'm going to pour one out for them.
Pour this one out into my glass. The open world aspect of Quest, I love it. I love open world games. Just the fact that you can just go anywhere and do anything. And there's not like, go here and then here and then here. It's just pick a direction and go have fun. I love that about it. I love that it fits in a small footprint because I don't have as much time for games in my life anymore with a wife and a kid and a job and a house and having to do Neverwhere gaming stuff where what I play is so dictated by what we have to review by that stupid wall. And I like the wall. I like that you guys send us games. Don't stop because I'm complaining about it. So games that can fit into a smaller footprint are definitely things that I like. And just Quest, they introduced the item eagle. It fits in the small box that you love.
Revolutionary. That's my favorite part. I always say, yes, make the box smaller.
If you're going to get a Tiny Epic game, I definitely recommend you check out Quest. So top 3 is a really interesting place. I feel like you guys should be able to guess this.
We already said it. X-Wing, Imperial Assault, a third thing.
All right.
I bet you Ticket to Ride's going to be number 1. What if Defenders of the Realm is on there because you bumped Pandemic so high up? Maybe it's because Defenders took its place because we played it recently.
Defenders is the game that I wanted to put on here, but I've only played it once. So number 3 is a game that I don't think Aaron's played it yet. I feel like if you owned this game, it would be on your list, and you only don't own it because I own it, and since you don't see it every day, you didn't think about it.
What? Let the tension build.
Islebound.
Ah! Yeah.
Such a good game. I actually bought this game before I played it because Tom played it and called me and was like, dude, this game is so good. You will love this game. It's Ryan Locott. I don't know your name, but
the big
I love your
RL.
games. It's so good. You call it worker placement. I don't call it worker placement.
It's totally worker placement.
But just the art is great. The mechanics are just. It's like a work of art, not just the artwork, but the mechanics are. I just feel like it flows together. You're going around doing different things. You can go to a place and block people. You can't use the same place twice because you have to move. And you can't say you have to move. It's not a worker placement game. Islebound is definitely my favorite Red Raven game. It's my number 3 game of all time of right now. Number 1 and 2, these guys have guessed it a couple times. I kind of want you guys to guess which one goes where.
X-Wing first, Imperial Assault. X-Wing is number 2, and then Imperial Assault.
Okay, you agree?
You can either agree or say it's the other way around.
It's the other way around.
The other way around? So, in 2016, it was X-Wing 2, Imperial Assault 1. I flip-flopped him this year.
Ow!
Just because Tom's wrong. On the fly, I flip-flopped him.
He looks at this, he goes, no, it's the other way.
X-Wing and Imperial Assault are both such thematic Star Wars games. Like, everything about them I feel like screams Star Wars. There's games with Star Wars skin on them that are like, I bought them because they have Star Wars written on the box, but like the little Empire vs. Rebellion card game, like it's just, there's no Star Wars in it. It's just the skin thrown on it. They're like, I'm gonna own it because I have to. But
Like Destiny, where you got a whole box and played it like twice.
well, I just got so discouraged after everyone hated that video. I just never wanted to play it
Don't
again.
dislike that video, please.
Yeah, go please. It needs over 100 dislikes.
You probably already disliked it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You're already on that train.
The reason they switched places is actually a conversation I had with Sean, who's one of the guys that works at our local game store, Gamesville Tabletop. We'll throw their logo up, plug them, they're great. So I was asking him about Legion, because it's about to come out, and I was like, dude, are you pumped for it? And he was saying, like, X-Wing is the game that I wanted. Like, before Star Wars games were a thing, when it was just like, you can get Star Wars Monopoly and Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, and those are the Star Wars games out there. Like, if I could pick one game, it's dogfighting in space.
That defines Star Wars. It's all the
It just
rebel fighting.
Again, throwback to our last video. It's like Battlefront 2 on my original Xbox. Just dogfighting. It's beautiful. It's a great game. There's so much that you can do to like deck build. It's not something you have to spend like hours poring over your deck and figuring out what archetype you want to play. We've played just fun games. Like, I just want to mess around, and I really want to figure out a way to get 3 TIE defenders on the board because they can do a K turn without getting stressed, and that's all I want to do. And I could get crushed, but that's okay. It's everything. You just feel so Star Wars playing it, and there's just such a community for it of painting your ships and building your decks.
So you're talking about your number 1 right now.
Yeah, what about
I am. Because I said them both, I really want to get that off the table first.
Okay.
So
number 2.
Number 2, Imperial Assault. It's a great Star Wars game. And kind of like Tom said, Imperial Assault and Descent are so interchangeable for me. Like, I feel like Descent deserves to be in this spot as well. But the same way Tom likes the fantasy theme more, and just because it's the fantasy theme, he likes it more. Because Star Wars is the theme of Imperial Assault, it steals that spot for me. I can't remember the first time I saw Star Wars. It's just always been a part of my life. And not just because it's there, but I love it. And I think Imperial Assault does a great job. I honestly like the mechanics a little bit better as well. I like the fact that there are things that are hidden, and the apps fix that for Descent, but there's an app for Imperial Assault now as well. That there are things that are hidden until like you enter a certain room, and then you get to add more miniatures to the board and change things. And the way the stories progress, the characters you decide to play as determine some of the stories you could play in the campaign. I think is just such a cool way to build a story and kind of like hide an RPG into a tabletop game, which I feel like Descent always was. And I think that Imperial Assault just refined that. Just like the littlest bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And they put a little bit. And they put Star Wars on it, which just, again, in my book, just instantly makes it better. On an even playing field, if they were identical games, if Descent was identical to Star Wars, which it could be because they're expanding the Terranoth universe, and I can see them writing more backstories for each of the characters you play, I would still pick Imperial Assault just because it's Star Wars.
We're going to put about 1,000 different links down in the description box below so you can see my top 10 video, Aaron's top 10 video, our top 10 video from back in 2016.
Definitely haven't watched their videos yet.
Yeah,
you clicked the line
Wes
first.
was totally the
it.
first one you picked because he bribed you.
Unless you're picking alphabetical order, you would have watched mine first.
That's the last
that would be if it's alphabetical by first name, but if it's alphabetical by last name, which is Alaman, you would totally do. It'd be. Shut up, Aaron.
Now you know his last name.
We're also going to put links to so you can buy all of Wesley's games. If we reviewed any of those games, we'll put those links down there. There's just going to be tons of links. Click them.
Yeah. And then you should comment on this video and, say whether or not Wes's picks are good or not, or,
Say why Last Jedi was the best Star Wars film ever made.
I do kind of want to have a little bit of a voting thing. If you agree with my top 10, if you like what I said, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you liked their videos more than mine, after you watched them after me, go ahead and give them a thumbs down so I know that you liked theirs more. That's how I'm going to differentiate whether you liked mine or you heard this and liked theirs more.
And we can't end a video without begging you to subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.
Oh, it's a real gun. Yeah, you're really bad at this. It's gonna get so many comments. I think. Last Jedi. Oh, no, it's gonna be all you. Like, let me tell you why. Last Jedi was dumb. The wiping his shoulder joke was dumb. Throwing the lightsaber joke was dumb.
I agree with all of those things.